Top states for welding money in 2022. Good rising, family. My name is Black Feniks. I'm the owner of HogOn Welding and the founder of HogOn University. This rising, I wanted to talk to you about an article that I read, and I thought some of the places and the prices was very interesting for 2022. And they say these numbers are going to get better. They say that right now, from this article, they said it's an 8% increase by 2030. So the number is actually going up. And these are some of the states that have the top pay, and also some of the states that have the worst pay of welders. And it was just ironic once I read this article, and I read a few more that actually had more information. But I felt like right now, using the data that we got in this present time, it would be more valuable with us making our decisions on what states we want to relocate to, where we want to move, what kind of welding we want to actually do. It doesn't talk about these specific types of welding that they're doing in these places, but you can kind of get a feel of what is going on once you see the areas. So I'm gonna dive into this. I'm using my other phone because I wanted to read a few things from the article that I actually seen. And I'm also going to share this article into the link. Good rising, good rising. Checking in. Let me make sure I save all the comments. Okay, so we're going to start off with the first. So one of the first states that's paying very well in welding is Maine. Don't know if anybody want to go up that way. I don't want to go up there, but it says that the cost of living is very cheap. It just says it's cheap in Maine. And you probably know why. It's probably very cold. A lot of people don't want to stay up there. Some of the highest paying in the area as far as job-wise, welders are making about $49,000 on the average there in that area. So, you know, it goes from anywhere from, like I say, in that spot, I think that it got to do with what's going on in the area, like if it's a high traffic area or not. But they also say some of the lowest in that same place is around $13. So averaging around what, $26,000 a year or so. So the second one on the list that kind of caught me off guard too was Louisiana. So shout out to everybody from Louisiana. Louisiana has made the list, and as far as a average, it's about $45,000 for an average for a good welder in that spot. And then it also said the cost of living is low too. So you have a low cost of living in New Orleans. So I think that down there you think of a lot of pipe, structural repairs. They putting in a lot of pipe work. So I know it's a lot of pipe work going on. A lot of structural steel, ornamental too. So, you know, there's a lot going on down there, so to speak. Like I say, that I actually wasn't aware of. And then we got Vermont. Vermont is hitting at around $49,000 for average. And it said that it's cheap too to live there in the city. It says welders are making a hourly wage around $21.35. So, you know, that's pretty much good money for those who want to be in that area. Number 4 was New Hampshire. So New Hampshire is in the building at $43,000 on average. So these are average numbers, you know what I mean? We want to go to, let me see what's next. One of my states that I really like is Nevada. It's dry there, but I do like the atmosphere. I can't lie to you. And there, they ranging at around $39,000 for an average welder. But they say that it's a lot of money there, so it's a lot of work there, consistent work, which we know with the city and the culture of the city, what's going on there when it comes to Las Vegas. You have Sparks actually is paying a lot. Sparks actually paying more. So when you're going up to the northern part, you tend to make more. There's more, it's some more refineries up there, and it's some mining up there too. So it's a lot of mining money when it comes into installing things on the mines up there in Nevada. There's a lot of gold in Nevada, gold and copper, but there's a lot of copper in Phoenix. That's why Arizona got that color star. It's actually not just a regular color of a star. It's actually copper to represent one of the main assets that's in that state. So for those who didn't know that. So we've got falling in at number 6 at South Dakota. South Dakota is making an average of $37,000 a year for the average welder. Then it moves on to Wyoming. Wyoming is like $36,000. Don't know a lot about Wyoming. I did pass through it. It is a beautiful country. Don't know if I can stay there, but it is a beautiful country. I had visited there. We got Idaho at $31,000. And we got my state, Georgia, in the building. Shout out to all my Georgians. They making the average, depends on where you at, about 41,000. It's about 41,000 average, but it does say this: cost of living is high. It said cost of living is high. And also, I want to say Idaho said somewhat expensive. I didn't say that about Idaho. It said somewhat expensive. But Georgia, it can be expensive. Depends on where you're living at, where you're trying to live, if you're trying to rent, if you're trying to own, if you are doing the RV, if you're staying with a loved one, paying, depends on what you're trying to do there. But the cost of living can be a little expensive, depends on where you at in Georgia. So just keep that in mind. But I will say this, more of the areas that's booming will be more of the populated areas, so you kind of make more money there. But the cost of living is kind of higher there too. So sometimes a lot of people commute hour, 45 minutes from where they at to go into the city or surrounding areas and actually make their money. So keep that in mind. Nebraska. Nebraska is a place I love. I actually did a few install jobs and welding jobs in Nebraska, and I really liked it. The cost of living down there is cheaper than the national average. It said whatever the national average is, it's cheaper than that. And it said that they're making about $36,000 for the average welder there. So that's just the average pay. But you got to think, when the cost of living is low, a person making that, it's like they rich there. You know what I mean? So another thing I would say too, when you're looking at welding jobs versus you starting a welding business, the prices can change. The price is going to change dramatically because it depends on what the need is in the area. So keep that in mind. So now we're going to go down to some of the worst and actually, let me take this back. When I talked about those other spots, so South Dakota is one of the worst ones that was on the list, and Wyoming was one of the worst ones on the list, Idaho and Georgia and Nebraska. So all of those was actually the top worst. And then you got the top, which is Nevada, and we got New Hampshire, we got Vermont, we got Louisiana, and Maine. Those are the top right now. So this is just an article that I read that is actually giving us some numbers, to actually give you some numbers to give you a good opportunity on what direction you need to go. Right now, there's so much going on in the economy, and I think that we have to be aware. We have to be aware that it didn't have it on the list, but Texas, throughout Texas, different spots of Texas, there's a lot of welding money there. Depends on where you at. Also, Arkansas was on the list as far as one of the worst place to weld at as far as money wise. But it wasn't in this article. It was actually in another one that I read, and it was just putting some prices down and average cost of living. And believe it or not, family, me being back in Arkansas, like coming back here working at my mom's house, if you depends on where you're staying in Arkansas, the cost of living can get high. Like if you living in certain parts of central area and north west area, the cost of living can be kind of expensive. I believe my daughter has a 2-bedroom, maybe 3, and I think she's paying anywhere from 13 to 1500, and I think it's close to the 1500 range, 1500 range. So it all depends on where you at and how you're trying to live. But welding, actually, the money for it is everywhere. So there's many opportunities out there. I just wanted to throw that out there. But a lot of the education that we get, we don't really do a lot of homework like we should. So I would say use that phone. You know, you can say, where is the best welding opportunities near me? Where are the welding programs at? Different things that you can ask that you'll be surprised that someone might have asked, or that already got it on the web looking for an opportunity. And sometimes it may be programs that pay for you, you know, to learn. So sometimes instead of you paying, unless you want to pay and actually get your hands-on experience, which I'm gonna recommend that, because I think that you're going to get more when you do it that way. But if you can just get in the door, everybody don't have the money. It's a lot of programs that might can get on the job training, or you can do 2 weeks or a week and get some skills to help, you know, get you in the door to some companies, and you'll start off as a beginner and then you can go up. But the one good thing though that I would say that I love about welding is it all depends on what welding you're trying to get into, because there's 4 processes: MIG welding, stick welding, flux core welding, and TIG welding. And you have to just keep in mind that each place you go, fam, is going to require you to, it's going to ask for something different. But if you think about the overall scale, my personal opinion, all processes are a need. And all processes you don't have to get real dirty, real messed up in. And it's coming to more of a technical field too, because they're doing a lot of welding on all type of things and all type of products. So, you know, you just have to pick what you want and what you want to do and how it best fits you. But the money is out here, fam. The welding money is out here. The welding money is out here. So I would say for those who are looking for it, fam, just use that phone you got, Google, contact some people in your local area. If you're trying to get some private classes or find out what's going on in the local colleges, local small communities, a lot of times they have different programs going on, and you can gain access to a welding career that can actually change your life, fam. So just want to say, y'all, keep getting your hog on. Be blessed. Use the information, fam. Use the tools so that way you can sharpen yourself. Be blessed. Y'all get your hog on. I'm out.